Leadership is often glamorized, but the reality is far more complex. Many people aspire to lead, imagining power, influence, and respect. However, the brutal truth is that leadership comes with immense responsibility, constant scrutiny, and tough decisions. Leaders must navigate challenges that test their values and resilience. In this video, we'll uncover the hidden aspects of leadership that rarely get discussed. From emotional burdens to ethical dilemmas, we'll explore what it truly means to be at the helm. Let's begin by understanding why leadership is not just about authority, but about facing uncomfortable truths every day. One of the harshest realities leaders face is loneliness. When you're responsible for making decisions that impact many, it's easy to feel isolated. Leaders often can't share their doubts or struggles with their teams, fearing it might undermine confidence. This isolation can lead to stress and even burnout. The higher you climb, the fewer peers you have to confide in. It's important to recognize that loneliness is a common experience among leaders, and finding ways to cope is essential for maintaining mental health and effectiveness. Leaders are always under the microscope. Every action, decision, and even facial expression is analyzed by employees, stakeholders, and the public. This constant scrutiny can be exhausting and stressful. Mistakes are magnified and successes are sometimes overlooked. Leaders must develop thick skin and learn to accept criticism, whether it's constructive or not. The pressure to maintain a flawless image can be overwhelming, but embracing transparency and authenticity is often the best way forward. Leadership means making tough choices, many of which are unpopular. Whether it's layoffs, budget cuts, or strategic shifts, leaders must prioritize the greater good over individual preferences. These decisions can create tension and resentment among team members. It's crucial for leaders to communicate the reasoning behind their choices and show empathy, even when the outcome is difficult. Standing firm in the face of criticism is a hallmark of true leadership. Leaders carry the emotional weight of their teams. They must support employees through personal and professional challenges, often absorbing stress and anxiety. This emotional labor can be draining, especially when leaders are expected to remain positive and composed. Recognizing and managing this burden is essential for long-term success. Leaders should seek support, practice self-care, and encourage open communication to foster a healthier environment. Leaders frequently encounter ethical dilemmas. Balancing profitability with integrity or growth with fairness is never easy. These situations require leaders to make decisions that align with their values, even when it's inconvenient. The pressure to compromise can be intense, but maintaining ethical standards is crucial for long-term trust and credibility. Leaders must be prepared to stand up for what's right, even when it's unpopular. Leaders must juggle the interests of various stakeholders, including employees, customers, investors, and the community. Each group has unique needs and expectations, and satisfying everyone is impossible. Leaders must prioritize and make decisions that serve the organization's mission while considering the impact on all parties. This balancing act requires diplomacy, strategic thinking, and clear communication. Failure is inevitable in leadership. Projects may flop, strategies may backfire, and mistakes will happen. The brutal truth is that leaders must own their failures and learn from them. Admitting mistakes and taking responsibility builds credibility and trust. Leaders who embrace failure as a learning opportunity foster a culture of growth and resilience within their teams. Leaders are expected to deliver results, inspire teams, and drive innovation. These expectations can be overwhelming and unrealistic. The gap between what people want and what's possible can create frustration and disappointment. Leaders must set clear, achievable goals and communicate openly about limitations. Managing expectations is vital for maintaining morale and avoiding burnout. Uncertainty is a constant in leadership. Markets shift, technologies evolve, and crises emerge unexpectedly. Leaders must make decisions with incomplete information and adapt quickly to changing circumstances. This requires courage, flexibility, and a willingness to embrace risk. Navigating uncertainty is a skill that separates effective leaders from the rest. Leadership often demands personal sacrifice. Long hours, missed family events, and constant availability are common. Leaders must balance their professional responsibilities with personal well-being. Sacrificing personal time can strain relationships and lead to exhaustion. It's important for leaders to set boundaries and prioritize self-care to avoid burnout. Criticism is part of the leadership journey. Leaders are often blamed for problems, even those beyond their control. Handling criticism gracefully is essential. Leaders must listen, learn, and respond constructively without letting negativity affect their confidence. Developing resilience and emotional intelligence helps leaders navigate criticism and grow stronger. Trust is the foundation of effective leadership. Leaders must earn trust through consistency, honesty, and transparency. The brutal truth is that trust can take years to build but only moments to lose. Leaders must guard their credibility and act with integrity at all times. Building trust requires patience and ongoing effort. True leadership is about empowering others. Leaders must delegate, mentor, and create opportunities for growth. This can be challenging as it requires letting go of control and trusting others to succeed. Empowering others builds stronger teams and fosters innovation. Leaders who invest in their people create lasting impact. Leadership is a journey of continuous learning. The world changes rapidly and leaders must adapt by acquiring new skills and knowledge. The brutal truth is that complacency leads to stagnation. Leaders must seek feedback, embrace change, and invest in personal development. Lifelong learning is essential for staying relevant and effective. Conflict is inevitable in any organization. Leaders must address disagreements and tensions constructively. Avoiding conflict can lead to bigger problems down the road. The brutal truth is that managing conflict requires courage, empathy, and strong communication skills. Leaders who handle conflict well create healthier, more productive teams. Change is constant in leadership. Whether it's organizational restructuring, market shifts, or technological advancements, leaders must adapt quickly. Resistance to change can hinder progress and create frustration. The brutal truth is that leaders must embrace change, inspire others to do the same, and guide their teams through transitions. Keeping teams motivated is a major challenge for leaders. Motivation fluctuates, and leaders must find ways to inspire and energize their teams. The brutal truth is that motivation is not automatic. It requires ongoing effort, recognition, and support. Leaders who understand what drives their people can create a more engaged and productive workforce. Success brings its own challenges. Leaders must manage increased expectations, maintain humility, and avoid complacency. The brutal truth is that success can breed arrogance and disconnect. Leaders must stay grounded, celebrate achievements, and continue striving for improvement. Handling success with grace is as important as managing failure. Innovation is essential for growth. Leaders must create environments where creativity thrives and new ideas are encouraged. The brutal truth is that innovation requires risk-taking and acceptance of failure. Leaders must support experimentation and reward initiative. Fostering innovation leads to progress and keeps organizations competitive. Leaders are responsible for setting the vision and direction of their organizations. This requires clarity, foresight, and the ability to inspire others. The brutal truth is that vision setting is challenging and often met with skepticism. Leaders must communicate their vision effectively and rally their teams around a common goal. Leaders must lead by example. Their actions set the tone for the entire organization. The brutal truth is that leaders are held to higher standards and must consistently demonstrate integrity, professionalism, and commitment. Leading by example builds respect and motivates others to follow suit. Resource management is a critical aspect of leadership. Leaders must allocate time, money, and talent efficiently. The brutal truth is that resources are always limited and tough choices must be made. Leaders must prioritize, optimize, and ensure that resources are used wisely to achieve organizational goals. Organizational culture shapes behavior and performance. Leaders are responsible for cultivating a positive, inclusive, and productive culture. The brutal truth is that culture is difficult to change and requires consistent effort. Leaders must model desired behaviors, reinforce values, and address toxic elements promptly. Leaders must invest in developing future leaders. This involves mentoring, providing opportunities, and encouraging growth. The brutal truth is that succession planning is often neglected, leading to gaps in leadership. Leaders who prioritize development ensure continuity and long-term success for their organizations. Balance is essential for sustainable leadership. Leaders must juggle multiple priorities, including work, family, and personal health. The brutal truth is that imbalance leads to burnout and diminished effectiveness. Leaders must set boundaries, delegate, and practice self-care to maintain balance and thrive. Leaders must confront uncomfortable truths about themselves, their teams, and their organizations. This includes acknowledging weaknesses, addressing failures, and making difficult changes. The brutal truth is that avoidance only worsens problems. Leaders who face reality head-on build stronger, more resilient organizations. Accountability is a cornerstone of leadership. Leaders must hold themselves and others accountable for actions and outcomes. The brutal truth is that accountability can be uncomfortable, but it drives performance and trust. Leaders who embrace accountability foster a culture of responsibility and excellence. Diversity enriches organizations and drives innovation. Leaders must embrace and promote diversity in all forms. The brutal truth is that diversity can create challenges, including misunderstandings and resistance. Leaders must foster inclusion, address biases, and leverage diverse perspectives for better outcomes. Leadership is not for the faint of heart. It demands resilience, courage, and a willingness to face brutal truths. From loneliness and scrutiny to ethical dilemmas and personal sacrifice, leaders must navigate a complex landscape. By embracing these realities, leaders can grow, inspire others, and create lasting impact. Remember, true leadership is about serving others, empowering teams, and striving for excellence even when the path is difficult. The journey is challenging, but the rewards are profound.